No matter, like I said, whether you're a stepmom or TTCing, what are things that your friends and family can do for you on those days to help make it less difficult, if there's any at all? What's up, tribe, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you are new here, my name is Mariah, and in today's video I'm going to talk about, I feel like, a topic that doesn't get a lot of light and doesn't get a lot of discussion because it is one that is, for most people, kind of uncomfortable. This video is sponsored by Ana Luisa, who makes high quality yet affordable jewelry from sustainable materials like recycled 14 karat gold, sterling silver, and even lab grown diamonds. Right now they have a BOGO 40 sale for Mother's Day, so you buy one, you get 40% off, and the pricing usually starts at about $39, but they have a last chance section as well as a clearance section, which you can still apply that BOGO 40 to get the pieces that you want at a much lesser cost. Another thing that I appreciate is that their jewelry comes in small pouches that you can repurpose and reuse for other things, and all of their packaging is 100% recyclable. And they make their jewelry to last. I have had pieces for upwards of, I believe, like at least 3 years now, and those pieces are still going strong, still wear them, taking them on vacation in different climates, and they haven't tarnished, they haven't like turned my ears green or anything like that. So I highly recommend Ana Luisa jewelry because it doesn't feel cheap. That's the bottom line. You can get it affordable, but it doesn't feel cheap. This time I actually got this ring, which is, I don't know, it's unique. So there it is on the one side, and here it is on the other side. I feel like this is one of those pieces that is kind of bold and like playful without overdoing it or being too much. And that's what I feel about a lot of their pieces. They're never like too much, or they're never like screaming at you. I feel like oftentimes their pieces are just enough to either elevate your look or give you that extra little bit of oomph or pizzazz that you're looking for. I also got these earrings. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Let's see. I got these little mini hoops with these green gems in them, and then these Sia earrings, which are basically like safety pin hoops. So as you can see, they have a broad range of styles, and I feel like there's usually something for everyone. If you are a jewelry lover, great place to get fine jewelry on a budget. Okay, so what I want to talk about in today's video, obviously Mother's Day is coming up, and I feel like that can get very touchy for a lot of people. A lot of you here on my channel are TTCing. A lot of you have had miscarriages. And then a few of you sprinkled in are, like me, stepmoms, AKA bonus moms. So let's talk about stepmoms, AKA bonus moms first. So I prefer to call myself a bonus mom. I have been in the position for almost 10 years now. It's a really long time when I think about it. But before having my son, Rain, there was pretty much zero acknowledgement of, I guess, my efforts and the amount of work that went into the role of being an additional parent. It was 8 years of me going to the practices, drop off and pickups, doing exchanges as far as whose household they were going to, taking them on trips, having them for blocks of the summertime, planning out fun activities for them. You get the point. Doing everything that a parent already does, with the exception of there wasn't, like I said, a whole lot of acknowledgement of that. And that was very hard to get through. Like, it took years for me to figure out how exactly I was going to navigate it. And before having my son Rain, I finally figured it out, but it was still rough. So if you're a stepmom or a bonus mom, I just want to give you, I guess, some helpful tips or pieces of advice. So I guess my first piece is that being acknowledged on Mother's Day, I feel like the expectation should not be to be acknowledged by the children. And I know it sounds weird because it's a day about expressing appreciations for your efforts, but I feel like that is so far from realistic 9 times out of 10. I feel like where the acknowledgement often should come from and where it just often doesn't come from is some of the surrounding adults, whether that is your spouse or your partner, their family, or even your own family. A lot of times people don't even frame it in their mind like, okay, this is another human being who is actually doing all of the duties of parenting. So we should be essentially giving them their flowers where their flowers are due when they're doing a great job, and acknowledging that. But a lot of times that just kind of falls by the wayside, and I don't know why. I think it's a cultural thing, to be honest with you. Most of the times adults forget about that, spouses drop the ball, and a lot of times they don't even know, because unless you've been a step parent, it's not built in for them to know or really figure that out. On Mother's Day, I feel like it's easy for us to feel invisible because no one necessarily says it to you, no one acknowledges it to you, because I feel like they often feel like they're stepping on the bio mom's toes if they do. And even if not, it's just not a present thought in their mind. I can't tell you how many years went by for me personally that I was not acknowledged. You know, the first year I was actually acknowledged was when I was pregnant. So I had been doing all of the work that a great step parent does, because not all step parents are equal, but I was doing all of the work, putting in all of the efforts, all of the time, doing everything that I was supposed to be doing and going above and beyond in the role. And still, that didn't translate into other people even thinking on the day to just send a quick text or pick up the phone and say, hey, happy Mother's Day. I know that, you know, being a step parent isn't easy and it's not for the faint of heart, but you're rocking out doing it. It would have been nice to hear. With that being said, it is, as much as some may hate to admit it, it is your job as a step parent to communicate with your spouse that, hey, it would be nice if, you know, I got shown a little bit of appreciation on this day as well. It doesn't even have to be anything major, but it just would be nice if you would simply acknowledge my efforts and all that I do. Now, if you want more, by all means, ask for more. Or feel like you want flowers on that day, or teddy bears, or balloons, or brunches, do all that stuff. Ask for more. But the first step, I think, is communicating with your partner about how you would like things to be differently if you're not getting the acknowledgement that you actually want or deserve. Many of you have met my husband. You guys find him to be very humorous and charismatic, as I do. And we do indeed have a great relationship. But that doesn't mean that it didn't come with a lot of challenges, and a lot of those were surrounding the co-parenting and step-parenting struggles. And it took, like I said, for me to do a lot of communicating about what my needs were as far as the acknowledgement within that role. I'm pushing you guys to communicate these things more with your spouse, because you don't want Mother's Day to continuously pass every year and you're building up anger and resentment because you're not getting what you want from your partner, because you're indeed not also communicating that. Now, once you communicate those things, it's all in their hands at that point, but I also want you to start doing some things for yourself. So that leads me into number 2. Acknowledge yourself. Don't sit around waiting for someone else to acknowledge you or give you praise for what you already know you're doing an amazing job at. So if you're putting in all that work and no one else acknowledges you on that day, girl, take yourself out to brunch. Go buy yourself some jewelry. Go buy yourself, you know, if you want a Chanel bag and you've been holding out, waiting on somebody else to get that for you, go get yourself a Chanel bag, or book yourself a massage. That's actually what I did. I booked myself a massage that I plan on thoroughly enjoying, but I feel like a lot of times where we go wrong also is that there's an expectation that someone else has to do these things for you when you can simply do them yourself. It's nice to get the acknowledgement of it. Don't get me wrong. I know how much it's nice to get the acknowledgement for the things you do. However, acknowledge yourself. Show yourself that love. Do what you want done for you. Make that the new standard, because that is a much better alternative than spending the whole day just feeling either jealous or sad or angry or just really sucky because you feel either left out or like no one even gives a crap about all of the things you do. FYI, bio moms feel that way too. That's why I'm always like, if you're a step parent and you're doing things right, trust me, you're gonna feel like a parent sometimes in that you don't get the acknowledgement that you want either. A lot of bio parents don't get that as well. And there's no specific day or holiday that surrounds step parents. So that's really like the only difference, that they have a day set aside specifically for them. Step parents and bonus parents don't really have that. But even within that day that's still specifically set around them, a lot of them are not getting that acknowledgement, that attention. They're still doing everything on that day. So that, I guess, leaps me right back around to my first statement, which is really just to manage your expectations. Moving on to those of you who are TTCing. So for me, I have both things going on. I was a step parent and I was TTCing at the same time. And in TTCing, it still sucks because a lot of us who either yearn to be a mother or have gone through miscarriages and feel like, okay, we were, somebody's mom. Even if your baby did not make it earthside, you still have that feeling like, well, am I a mom? Am I a real mom? And yes, I absolutely is how I feel about it. You are a real mom, and Mother's Day can also be very painful in the sense that you truly feel that absence because there's no one running into your room bringing you breakfast in bed. There's no sweet little cards or little gifts or anything like that. And for a lot of TTCers and women who have gone through miscarriage, Mother's Day is just yet another reminder of what you've not yet attained or what you don't yet have or what you're longing for or desire for that just hasn't happened for you yet. And that can be a very tough pill to swallow and just very difficult to have to engage in these Mother's Day reminders in the weeks leading up to it, along with the physical day. So for those of you who are TTCing or have experienced, a miscarriage, I encourage you to do something similar that I encourage these stepmoms and bonus moms to do, which is communicate with your partner about what you would like that day to look like and what your needs are. If you feel like it's already a really rough day for you, so you want your partner to, love on you a little bit more. If you want to avoid all of the restaurants saying, oh, well, happy Mother's Day and stuff like that, and you want to have a really special dinner at home or do something intimate or fun, or as I keep on mentioning, if you want to book yourself a massage or something else like that, so whatever that thing is that makes you feel good, I feel like it's important specifically on that day to go and do it. One, it serves as a slight distraction, and two, it's still a day that you can participate in, but it's gonna be more centered around just you loving on yourself and your partner potentially loving on you a little bit more as well. But also what I learned is if you shift your mentality from what you're not getting or not receiving on that day versus this is a day that just gives me an extra excuse to splurge on myself or to only focus on myself or do things for myself, regardless of what anyone else thinks or regardless of what anyone else does or doesn't do for you, I feel like that is a healthy and not always easy, but very rewarding way to just reframe your thinking surrounding the day. The day is not going anywhere. The holiday is not being, etched from history. It's gonna come up every single year. So I think it's up to us, whether you fall in the category of a step parent or a TTCer, to try to rewire the way we are thinking of it. For the TTCers, your turn is coming. Your time is coming. But at the same time, I do understand that it sucks waiting for your turn to come as well. The best advice I can give is to do things for yourself, distract yourself as much as possible, do things that are going to make you physically feel good and mentally feel good, and let it still be a day to just celebrate you being the awesome you that you are. So we have a few more weeks before Mother's Day is here. So this is the time that I really want you guys to take and figure out what are things that you could do for yourself, what are things that you can plan for yourself, whether it's with your girlfriends, whether it's the ones that are childless or not childless, whether it's you want to go on a special trip, no matter what that thing is, figure out what is going to bring you some form of happiness on that day. Because I truly do believe that it's possible to still be happy on that day when we're doing something for ourselves that makes us feel good and not focusing so much on what other people are not doing for us or how they're not acknowledging us. I'd like to open this topic up for more discussion, so I'm going going to wrap this up with a question of the day, which is, if you're stepmom or TTCer, what is something that you are going to do on Mother's Day for yourself? I would also like to pose the second question of, no matter, like I said, whether you're stepmom or TTCing, what are things that your friends and family can do for you on those days to help make it less difficult, if there's any at all? But I'm asking this question because in order for us to kind of change and reframe how other people see us, I feel like we have to some extent, give them things, ideas, suggestions as to how to help us through those days and what they can actually do, because they're not going to figure it out themselves. They are not mind readers. And I feel like if we can start to come together and figure out what exactly those certain things are, it might actually, culturally speaking, help you as well as other women get a little bit extra love and understanding surrounding these times. So that's all I have to talk to you guys today. I know it was like a little bit of a, I don't want to say heavier topic, but a topic that I don't really touch on a lot, especially in regards to step parenting. But definitely let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Be sure to check out Ana Luisa, whether or not you're getting a gift for yourself, which I highly recommend, or for someone else, but I still recommend for you to get it for yourself. And definitely take advantage of their BOGO 40 sale through the link in the description. I hope you all are having a wonderful and amazing week, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.